Tom! Welcome to a brand new week. It's a little bit strange that we're starting the vlog at a convention, because normally I start on Tuesday, but today is Thursday. The last couple days have been quite a blur, so we'll start at the beginning. On Tuesday, I went to Mohegan Sun with John, Reese, and my friend Sondland. We went to this, I don't remember exactly what the name of it is called, but I got a clip of it right here for you, so you can look at that, where the restaurant is like basically based around like breakfast food and whatnot, and they have like ridiculously large portions on them, which was like, and of course, like if you look at the scroll of like all the food there, I got the most modest thing on the menu, which is like a portobello burger. Meanwhile, Reese got a gigantic like sandwich where the piece of chicken that's on the sandwich extends well outside of the bread that it's supposed to be on, but so that was hilarious. Then we went and gambled a little bit, and then got some ice cream, and that was pretty much it. We had a lot of fun though. It was a great time with great friends at Mohegan Sun. And then yesterday, oh boy, yesterday was quite interesting. I think I'm actually going the wrong way here. But yesterday I had to be up at 5 a.m. so that way I can come down here, because my sister had to go to Boston for a medical thing. So basically, my parents, my sister, and I drove up to Boston, but I hadn't we got back from the casino at around like 9 p.m. and I had to be up at 5, but I couldn't get to sleep until like 2 in the morning, and I don't think I actually slept at all during that point. So that kind of sucked. So I was basically just bitter for like the entire day. Got something to eat, then parted ways with my parents, and then checked into the hotel with Gomzi and Aphex, and then that was around like 2. I spent the rest of the day sleeping, getting woken up periodically by things that were just happening around me. But yeah, now we're here at PAX. Earlier this morning, I came down here, went to the Nintendo booth at while they had like the media hour there. Played some of Yoshi's Crafted World. That game is a lot of fun. It's I'd say it's like a slight improvement from Woolly World. I will say though that like there's one mechanic in it that they did change that I'm not really upset about, but kind of meh about. So in Woolly World you could hold enemies in your mouth and spit them back out. Can't do that in Crafted World. If you eat an enemy, it's becoming an egg no matter what. So there's that, and then just. Basically, up until this point, it's been like walking around, hanging around the classic game room, and honestly, just waiting to meet up with friends and eat and all that jazz. I'm actually walking by the cafeteria now, but I probably won't get food here because the food here is mad expensive and regrettably so expensive. So I think I'll probably end up waiting to go out to like a Subway or something. Who knows? It's cold outside though, so I might eat here just so I don't have to go outside.
Get comfy. Yeah, I've been considering playing a 24-hour stream of this game for charity. Please talk me out of it. You guys think it's a good idea? You think I should do that?
No, do it. No,
yes.
Do it.
Oh, champion! Rose down my aisle.
It is Friday. And as you saw, after that long line, we managed to get in here. So good. We were able to, get in here. Line wasn't terrible. It was probably like about a half hour wait from where I was. I think I got in the line around 11:30 and got in around like noon. I thought I had an appointment at noon, so that was a little bit worrisome. Anyway, heading to Classic Consoles to hang out for a little bit, because it's sort of like these are my people, and this is sort of like the place I go where everybody knows my name. But anyway, yesterday went to a couple of panels. One was the Zelda Universe panel where they talked about Ocarina of Time mostly, and the other one was a game show panel called Controller Throwers. Not throwing controllers, controller throwers. You saw in the previous clip John was in there and he was up there playing Ninja Gaiden. So that's interesting considering that that John hosts a panel that's been going on for like six to 8 years, I guess, called Throwing Controllers, which is also a game show. So I have no idea if this guy who hosted this panel knew about that and was like, we'll just call it Controller Throwers because that's, making people rage at games. Or no, like if they didn't know and they just like happened to pick that name, or if they knew and it's like, we'll piggyback off of the success of this other panel. But it was fairly interesting. And it wasn't a terrible show either. It was entertaining. So yeah. Anyway, today I have an appointment with Yacht Club Games to check out King of Cards and the game they just announced, which I forgot what it was called. I think it was called like Enter Shadows or something like that. That's the name of the game. Anyway, I'm gonna hang out here in classic console gaming for a little while, just to sort of decompress after a long walk from my hotel to this area and a long wait in line. I wonder what game I should play. I'm thinking Punch-Out. It is Saturday. To continue on from what I did yesterday, I went to the Yacht Club game to play Cyber Shadow. Finally saw what it was called, so I got that. And also played some Shovel Knight Showdown. Both games are great. Cyber Shadow is very much sort of in the same like realm of difficulty as Shovel Knight, so it's pretty good. And on top of that, it looks so good. Shovel Knight Showdown is also a lot of fun. It's basically, think like Smash Bros. Or Brawlhalla, just with Shovel Knight characters. Plays very similarly to Shovel Knight, and has I think the only game mode they were showing was one where you kill, or not really kill, but like you're trying to collect gems, and if you die, you end up losing gems, and like whoever has the most gems by the end of it wins. Anyway, after that, I did this. Things went wrong. But that I just want to get a picture of that from the Earth Defense Force. I always like doing like silly poses in like places where it's like, oh yeah, pose for a picture here, and like especially with the ball pit there, I had so much to do with that. So that was quite a bit of fun. However, once I finished up with that, hung out a little bit with Emil and Massey. They wanted to show me a game that was in the hall called Speaking Simulator, where the premise is you're a robot who's trying to fit in with normal human conversation, where you control the individual aspects of the mouth. So like the jaw going down is one control, how wide your mouth is another control, and like the arrow keys controlled your tongue for like various phonetics like L or G and all those other things. So it's really weird. It looks like a lot of fun. And I can't wait for that to come out in full. Oh, man. And then we went to the Runaway Guys panel, Throwing Controllers, which some technical issues abound that they had, but I think the meetup helped sort of diffuse that, methinks. So today, I also bought like 30 N64 games, and I was carrying them around for the entire day. So by the time I was able to finally get off my feet, I was having trouble sleeping because my feet were like pulsing in pain from having to walk around with like a 20-pound bag of N64 games. So anyway, today, woke up relatively late, around like 2 or so, went to Subway for lunch, and then came here. Ran to John almost immediately at the, oh man, what booth was it called? Well, there's the game down there. It's a game that Alex Fasciani over at Beer Bros was one of the writers for, and Gerard is helping promote it a lot. So John was playing that. It's a neat game. You basically play as like a little Goomba character, and you're trying to kill basically the equivalent of the Super Mario Brothers. So that was quite a bit of fun. Then we ended up going up to Classic Console, playing a bit of Mario Strikers, and right now, John and a bunch of people are playing some Super Smash Brothers. I might jump in for a couple rounds here. We'll have to see though. In terms of what's going on tonight, not really sure. Might end up just going for some food, some fun, some fan. Whoop. Sorry. Someone was trying to move in front of me there. Anyway, some food, some fun, some sleep, some relaxation. Gom's. Oh, you know what else I did today? Gom, Z-Aphex and I did a meetup out in the front of the convention center. So we met up with quite a few people, and that was quite a bit of fun. In terms of tonight, I probably have to go to bed relatively early because we have to move hotel. Because I think from what I heard from Gom, they had to cancel the last part of our reservation due to renovations. So we have to find a different hotel to go to. I don't know if I'm gonna stick with them or if I'm gonna hotwire a hotel for the last night that's like closer to the airport. So I'll have to see on that one. But anywho, smashing time. It is Sunday, and actually PAX is already over. It's about 9 p.m. right now, I think, according to wherever that ticking is coming from. Yeah. Yesterday, after I was hanging out with John and them in the hallway there while they were playing Smash Brothers, or no, it was in the console gaming area. Excuse me. I ended up going to a sushi restaurant in downtown Boston, and it was really good. I had some sake. I made some questionable tweets, and they. I have a funny story about that, about the sushi place, actually. I went to, they brought out what I ordered. I ordered 2 rolls and a Don bowl. They brought out my order and there were 3 rolls there, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't order this. I'll eat it though. I like it. And the woman was like, hold on a second. She brings it back, talks to the chef, and then comes back and is like, he made it just for you. Kind of in like definitely trying to cover for the chef there. But that wasn't added to my bill, so that was nice. The extra roll was a California roll, so not all bad. But yeah, that was really good. After that, sort of stumbled back to the hotel room, talked with Z, Gulm, Aphex, and Rachel for a little bit, and then hit the hay. And then today we had to get out of our hotel room quickly because there was renovation going on there. So we had to check out at noon, and at 11:45, I'm about finished packing up when I realize I have an appointment at noon. And it was a pretty important appointment. It was an appointment that was the sole reason why I had my content creator badge for PAX. So I was like, I'm out of here. So I got an Uber, hightailed it over to the convention center and made my appointment in time, which was me streaming some Super Smash Brothers at the Elgato streaming pods. But yeah, anyway, after I was done with that, they thought I was actually the guy who runs it was like, oh, are you leaving after this? And I'm like, no, I had to bring my bags because of the whole hotel situation. He's like, okay, cool. Hey, Elgato and Corsair are having an after party, and I'm like, oh, neat. And so they gave me a wristband, and I'm probably gonna head over to that once I'm done here doing my thing here. So anyway, hung out for a little bit, ran into a bunch of people, ran into Emil again, ran into, Luca and John and Massey and Tim and all of them sort of hanging around there. I bought, so aside from the 28 N64 games I bought, I think there might actually be more than that. I bought an N64 controller from that same shop because I've been going to that guy's shop at conventions for years, the Dial-Up Games shop, and they supply a lot of good stuff there. So I have I bought an N64 controller there because the stick on it felt like brand new, and it's very rare that you find an N64 controller with the joystick on it feels firm. You usually get like a very loose and wobbly one, and then you can't like do as much with it. It's God, I hate how N64 controllers age. But anyway, I bought one of those. I bought a shirt for someone. I'm not gonna say who, but all I will say is that they're going to be at Coliseum. And I think they're going to like that shirt because it very much will go with, well, something that was a big hit last year and I'm sure will be around again this year. But anywho, once all was said and done, went back to Classic Console, played myself some Star Fox. John popped by. We hung out for a bit and then hightailed it out of there when everything was closing down because I had to bring my bags to the convention center, check them in, and then bring them back. And then take them out again so that way I can come over here to my new hotel. Whew, it is Monday, and we are finally back home from PAX. So let's go over a couple things that we did on the time between Sunday and today. Well, I mentioned last night that I was going to a party. It was the Elgato Corsair party, and oh man, that was quite a lot of fun, I will say. Had some drinks, had some pizza, had some cannolis. They had cannolis there. And then they played a bunch of really good music. At one point, they played Be a Man, I think the song was called, from Mulan. And I jumped up on stage and started singing. There's a clip of that somewhere. I didn't get it. I saw it on Twitter, though. So that was fun. Anyway, on the way back, I got an Uber. I had a very interesting Uber ride on the way back from that party. There was the gentleman who was giving me a ride. I don't know if he was like a closet furry or like just see them from afar and was just interested in them, but he talked a lot about furries. And it was really weird. It was really, really weird. He was just like, oh man, like I see these people like dressing up and it's like, oh, they seem like they're having a grand old time, whatnot. I wonder what spawned that, like what the first thing was. And I'm a very non-combative person, so like I was kind of going along with the conversation where it's like, it could have been, I don't know, man, it could have been like the anthropomorphizing of animals in cartoons, but maybe it dates back earlier to that, because like the ancient Egyptians worship cats and one. And I was just trying to go along with this because I was like, please, for the love of God, this is a really uncomfortable situation. Just drop me off where I need to go and stop talking, please. But yeah, that happened. Then I went to bed. The next morning, I woke up and basically had the runabout Boston. This morning, I should say. Had the runabout Boston. I had no idea what to do, so I stopped in at 2 cafes and drank a lot of hot chocolate. Once that was all said and done, though, I went to meet up with Proton John, and I ended up meeting up with him at the venue they were going, that him, Emil, Tim, Luca, Massey, Jules, and Adrian were going to set up for Throne Controllers Live, which, if you don't know, they do that show at every convention they go to. Well, most conventions that they go to anyway. Excuse me, where they'll call people up to answer trivia questions, do video game challenges, yada, yada, yada. A little bit of worry with the PAX, or a little bit of worry for this after the PAX one went down, but from the looks of it seems like it went okay. Anyway, I went to the venue, hung around there for a few hours, helped them set up and whatnot, and then bid them my fond farewell. Not without getting a little souvenir first, of course. It's inside out. I was able to snag one piece of their merch. And when I say snag, I mean paid for it. I actually got 2 pieces of their merch. I got that, and I got the TRG pin that I've added to my collection on my messenger bag. This messenger bag, by the way, that I take to like every single convention. And people love the pins on it. I think it's funny because it's like a little history of like just where I've been and what I've done and whatnot. There's like 3 different Twitch pins. There's like a bunch of Smash pins on there, a bunch of Nintendo pins. Most of them I didn't really. There's a bunch of them that I didn't buy that I just kind of like got. Like the Twitch pins I got complimentary. There's like 3 Nintendo pins on there that I got complimentary. So yeah, there is that. Anywho, once that was all said and done, met up with Gom at the airport because we ended up having the same flight. We booked separately, ended up having the same flight, and our seats were assigned when we got to the terminal. And so we were in the same row, but like across the aisle. So he was like in the window seat on like the ABC side, and I was in the aisle seat on the DEF side. And it was a very uneventful flight. I basically just played Phoenix Wright on my phone the entire time and listened to podcasts. I swear I listen to the Cox and Crendor podcast a lot whenever I go traveling. They're usually, each one is about an hour long, so like 4-hour flight. It's like, all right, I listened to 4 of those podcasts and we're there. We got in much earlier than we were intended to. I think we were supposed to get in around like 11:45. Got in around 11, and then Gollum drove me back here, where I am about to pass out. So, thank you all for joining me on this weekend to PAX, and for the couple days earlier when John, Reese, and Sondel and myself went to Mohegan Sun. And I hope you all have had a good week. I certainly did. Y'all have a good next week. Later!